Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Redux What If, and today on this fine Thanksgiving, as you can hear, I'm currently outside just chilling. So we finna do an outside what if today. Something I usually really don't do, but fuck it. You can never you can never be afraid to try new things. So today I'm bringing you a special what if. This is going to be what if Natsu wasn't Black Clover. Now, before we start this what if off, there are a few things I want to get out the way. Asta will be broken. Not Asta. Yeah, Asta is broken. But Natsu will be broken. But at the same time, it will be balanced. Secondly, I'm going to put a little essence of Zareth in Natsu. So kind of like his like dark transformation whenever we get there. So that could be a little extra amazing. What else? The third thing, what else? Third thing is, I really don't know how this what if is gonna go. If this shit goes crazy, that will be fucking amazing. I was watching Black Clover. I was like, you know what? I don't even know why I stopped watching it. It's not even as bad as I thought it would be. I was like, maybe if I do what ifs for Black Clover, it might be a little better for me. So that's what I'm currently doing right now. But other than that, man, I hope y'all enjoy this what if. Appreciate y'all for all the love and support, man. We almost at 145 subscribers, bro. We are literally like 90 and some change away from 200, bro. This shit is going to be crazy. But without any further ado, I'm going to let this intro play, and we are going to get into the what if.
Swerving this bitch. Got your bitch, she swerving, turning and jumping all up on this shit. No jail times, I want this shit. I grab that shit, now I got this shit. Finna run off with that shit and blast off like a little rocket ship. Take off. I need my Prada, my guala. Shit ain't going well, haven't made $1. Yeah, nigga, for school, I don't fuck with problems. Yeah, have no fucking bitches was my only problem. Yeah, getting fucking cake ain't no fucking problem. Yeah, had to cut you off was my only problem. And I don't start the problems, you start the problems. I know you miss that nigga, so call him.
Now, let's start this what if off in the fairy tale universe. We're gonna say after Natsu beat the greatest of the great. He even beat Zareth, which Zareth is stupidly overpowered, as y'all know, right? So we're gonna say he beat Zareth, but it cost him a sacrifice, and he sacrificed himself to save the whole fairy tale land, right? And as you know, he was slowly disintegrating or slowly disappearing in flames. We're gonna say that since he has all types of flames that he absorbed, including the God Slayer flame, right, as y'all know, right, all those powers and fires that he absorbed throughout the years combined into like a forever flame, right, which basically gave him a second chance at life in a different universe. So after that, the forever flame turns into like a brilliant blue as we see Natsu say his goodbyes to everybody and vanishes. And that's when we fade to black out the fairy tale universe. Now, we already know how Black Clover starts, how a supreme demon was wreaking havoc, right? And a magic knight defeated that demon and was crowned a wizard, came back in that time. So now that we pretty much know how the origins of Black Clover happened. But what was not understood is that since Dragneel was in Natsu at that time, Dragneel also came to Black Clover. So after the energy transfer shot into a different universe, with the Black Clover universe being that universe that Natsu landed in, Dragneel came out, and Dragneel remembers everything. He remembers everything, what happened, and all that other stuff. But he chooses to let Natsu become, the same Dragon Slayer, giving him all his abilities, but but he has to unlock them, and he'll get new abilities as well. So Dragneel and lets him inherit, all the Dragon Slayer magic. Not elements, not all the elements, but like fire element wise, and the fire lightning, which he'll get in his different way. He's gonna have like the fire lightning dragon mode and all that other stuff, but he's gonna get it in his own unique way because we're not gonna do it like that. So basically, he gets it by he basically gives Natsu all the tools he needs to become a fire dragon slayer. So with that being said, we're gonna start this what if off with Natsu remembering being taken care by a dragon before. We're gonna say, like, for plot conveniences, there was like wyverns around that time, and magic knights were hunting them, and so that's when Dragneel went back into Natsu unknowingly, and that's when because Natsu didn't know where Dragneel go, and then that's when they found a baby, and then that's when the baby was brought to the church in Hange. I think that's how you say Hange. I think that's how you say Hange Village. Yeah, where the church is with Sister Lily and Father Ozai. I think it's Father Ozai. I don't know if I said his name right, but yeah, you already know who I'm talking about. So basically, he gets incorporated with that as the father of the church opens the doors, and he sees 3 babies. He sees Asta, Yuno, and Natsu, who is a lot warmer than what a normal baby should be. But he thinks of it as nothing as he takes them in, and everything pretty much goes to canon with Asta kicking father, and then that's when he was like, "You're a real rowdy one, aren't you?" And so, with that being said, as that happened, Natsu gave like a little burp, and he breathed out fire, and he was like, "Oh, exhibiting magic power this early already?" And then that's when he named, well, since they had names, Asta, and then he named that one Natsu, because of the fire. Like, he made like a spicy fire soup, and then it was like, that's how Natsu got his name. So yeah, so we're gonna time skip 15 years later, how it was in canon, and we see walking around with Asta and Natsu fighting each other, since their personalities both rub off on each other, as Asta was like, "Natsu, prepare to get beaten," and then Natsu was like, "You want another good ass kicking? Bring it on, Asta." And so they start fighting, right, sparring with each other, and Asta is gonna be a little bit more physically stronger and faster due to Natsu's insane strength, his dragon heritage. So Natsu is always naturally stronger, and he's always going to get naturally stronger, dragons and stuff. Duh. So basically, with Natsu's strength that he's getting, Asta's going to be physically more capable. He's going to be physically more capable, and yeah, we're just going to say that Asta's going to be a lot more stronger than he was in canon. And so they begin to spar, and then that's when Asta started getting like the upper hand, and he was like, "What's wrong? You're afraid I'm going to beat you even though I don't have any magic?" And that's when Natsu was like, "Magic?" He was like, I was trying to warm up, but now you have me all fired up. So take this." And then that's when 2 magic circles summon, and then that's when he says, "Roar of the fire dragon." And then that's when he takes a deep breath and then blows fire, as it causes a huge explosion that Asta ducked out the way in time. And then that's when Yuno comes to put out the fire, and he was like, "Natsu, you shouldn't be using your powers like this in a reckless manner." He was like, "You could have burnt down the whole forest." He was like, don't get your undies in a twist. Everything is all right. Me and Asta are just having our squabbles like we usually do. Because he's the only one that would like to fight me, unlike you. And then that's when smiles. He was like, is that a challenge? He was like, you damn right it is. And then that's when was like, we never settle who was the strongest. He was like, that's why, because Sister Lily broke us up. But she's not here to see who's going to come out on top. And then that's when they both, that's when, sends a gust attack. And then that's when Natsu dodges. And then that's when he was like, I've been working on this one, and it might blow your wind and your face right off. And then that's when Natsu was about to say, he was like, fire dragon special technique, brilliant fire dragon flame. And right when he was about to no, it was called brilliant flame of the fire dragon. That's what he was saying. And right when he was about to unleash that huge ass explosion, that's when Sister Lily did the holy water and put Natsu's flame out, punching all three of them. He was like, you boys are gonna be the death of me. She said, come eat, right? And so after that whole ordeal, it's pretty much canon how everything goes with everybody, kind of not antagonizing Asta, but basically saying that it's going to be impossible for him to become a wizard king if he doesn't have magic powers. And so he starts to try to do household stuff, but he can't even do that. As the little boy that had the fire lit the fire in the fireplace, that's when Natsu was like, that's when he was like, Natsu, can you teach me how to breathe fire out your mouth? And he was like, no, can do. That's only a Dragon Slayer special. And then that's when he was like, you always say Dragon Slayer. What is a Dragon Slayer? He was like, honestly, I don't know. But I feel like since that's what I exhibit when I do my magic, and, the best thing I can resemble is a dragon, I call it Dragon Slayer magic. And then that's when he was like, yeah, even though you're strong, you're not. He was like, you're just as bad as there as Asta screaming every day. And then that's when he was like, now, let me show you how to start a real fire. And then that's when he was like, Fire Dragon Crimson Lotus. And then he takes his hand and shoots the flame and damn near blows up the house, as he was like, I should tone that down when I'm inside buildings. And then that's when everybody's like, you think? And then that's when pretty much everything goes to canon for that episode. What is it? Asta vows to be Wizard King. And then that's when, he gets discouraged because of what everybody was saying. So he runs off into the woods. And then that's when Natsu was about to follow. And then that's when, was like, there's no need to follow him. He'll be back. And then that's when Natsu was like, he's our brother, isn't he not? He was like, I get that he doesn't have magic, but that doesn't mean we could poop on his dreams. He was like, we used to be so close together, and now it feels like I'm more closer to I feel like I'm more closer to Asta than you. Why did you become so distant with us? He was like, I get that you have special powers like I do, but even if our brother had magic or not, still doesn't excuse you why you're so distant with him. He was like, if he said he's going to be a Wizard King, I will believe it. He was like, you may not know it, but when my abilities started coming, I started training. Because you know what Father told me? Hard work beats talent. And no matter how talented you are, if you don't put the hard work behind it, you'll never get anywhere. So one day, he says, so if Asta ever gets his magic, I want to be both of your rivals. He was like, and I'll prove to you that the title of the Wizard King doesn't matter if you don't have the hard work to measure up to the plate. And then he was like, now if you excuse me, I'll go get Asta. You stay here and watch the church just in case. And then that's when Natsu walks to go get his get Asta, as Asta was kind of bummed out, and he was like, what if everybody's right? What if I can't become Wizard King? And then that's when Natsu was like, don't listen to those fools. He was like, they don't know what they're talking about. He was like, partially the reason why they say that is because they worry about you. They know they understand how dangerous magic knighting can be. He was like, and I don't know when you're ever gonna get your abilities, but so far you don't have any. But at the same time, it's never okay to, push somebody's dreams aside. He was like, if you want to be Wizard King, I believe you. He was like, and then that's when Asta was like, thank you, Natsu. I will become Wizard King. And he was like, you're damn right. And then that's when Asta was like, wait, so if I get my magic and you become a knight, he was like, what are you gonna do? He was like, and that's when Natsu was like, you and Yuno can have that title. He was like, I want to be something more, something greater than a Wizard King. He was like, I want to have a title that is equally looked at as the Wizard King or above the Wizard King. He said, I want to be somebody that the Wizard King has to call on to be somebody. He said, I want to be the person that the Wizard King has to depend on sometimes, depending on what threat it is. He was like, but other than that, I just want to get strong and fight strong people while doing my own things, free of the rankings or whatever they call it. He said, but I definitely don't want to be Wizard King. I want to be something that is better than Wizard King, like a wizard god. Nah, that doesn't work. I'll find something eventually. And then that's when Natsu was like, well, I came to find you. Sister Lily said we have to go to the Grimoire selection. So we'll see if we can actually, he said, and it might be your chance to see if you can actually have a Grimoire or not. And so he was like, I wonder if I have one. But then again, I've been using magic like this ever since I was little. So I don't really think I need a Grimoire. He was like, but if I get one, I'll let you have it. He was like, Asta was like, you would really do that? He was like, I don't need it. He was like, maybe we could share Grimoires, however that works. And then that's when Asta was like, yeah. And then we could be he said, I could be the Wizard King and you could be the strongest wanderer knight. And then that's when Natsu was like, yeah, I like the sound of that. And then that's when Asta was like, now let's go back and regroup with everybody. He was like, we have to support Yuno. And that's when Asta was like, yeah, Yuno has to get his. He was like, don't be bummed out. He was like, remember, hard work beats talent. Ooh, that water be hitting, boy. Anyway, so after Natsu talked to Asta, we go back to the city where some nobles and commoners gather, and it was for the Grimoire selection. And everybody got their Grimoires when they stepped on a thing, right? And then that's when it was like that's when Natsu stepped in. Got the 4-leaf clover. Everybody was just on his Johnson. Everybody was praising him. Good job. And then some nobles wasn't expecting him to get a 4-leaf clover, especially a common folk person. And then that's when they called Natsu. And Natsu stepped in the middle of the ring, and nothing came towards him, but then a tornado of flames just surrounded him, and everybody was like, whoa, what is this? And then that's when the tornadoes of flame, spiraled up and turned into a silhouette of a dragon, as the dragon grew wings, and then it covered Natsu. And then that's when the dragon roared a deep roar, and then that's when the flames, grew hotter and whiter, and then that's when the orange whitish flames swirled back in on itself and into Natsu. And he was like, well, I didn't get a Grimoire, but at least I could do this. And then that's when he set his hand on fire. And then that's when he was like, I don't need a grimoire to fight or to become a knight. I'll be a grimoireless magical knight that will be even stronger than a wizard king one day. And then that's when he stepped off the stage, and then everything goes to canon as Asta didn't get a grimoire. And then Asta was feeling pretty bombed out as he left. He left the thing early with Natsu was like, it's fine. Things will work out. He said things will work out eventually. And then that's when Asta was like, yeah, you're right. Let's just go home. And then that's when Asta forgot to give him his gift, like a congratulations gift that he got for him. And so that's when Asta was like, you go ahead, Natsu, I'll catch up later, right? And so that's when gets jumped for his grimoire. So he fights the first two dudes off, right? And then that's when Ruby, I think that is called, I don't know his name, the dude with the chains, the dude with the chains, with the grimoire with the chains. You already know who I'm talking about for those who watch Black Clover, right? So he came out, put up a little good fight, but then he got captured by the chains. And then that's when he attempted to rob of his grimoire, as he was saying that it would catch a fine price in the market, along with the necklace that had. And then that's when Asta, like in canon, comes in and puts two and two together that got his grimoire taken. And it looked like Asta was putting in work, because he's a lot quicker. He's a lot quicker and stronger than the canon counterpart, due to Natsu being there and them always fighting and wrestling with each other. So it kind of caught him off guard, because he was like, wow. Because it looked like he kind of almost flash stepped a little bit, not going too crazy, but it looked like he dodged all the chains and stuff. And right when he was about to punch him, right, that's when the chains caught him. And then they dragged him and slammed him. And then that's when the chains kind of stabbed him and pierced him. And then that's when Natsu said something was wrong. And then that's when he was like, he smelled it. And he was like, he was walking. He was like, man, I wonder what Sister Lily has cooking. And then that's when he gets that overarching bad aura he had, as he looked back and he was like, something's wrong. And then that's when Natsu ran. And then that's when he started coating flames on his feet and around his body to move faster, as you start to see flame trails. And then that's when he braces for like his launch one good time on the ground. And then that's when he blasts off into like a streak of flames, just going down the forest line. And then as Asta was getting stepped on, like in canon, right? He was getting stepped on and talked down to, and saying that he wants to be a wizard king when he has no magic. And then even the chains that he had sense zero magic ability at all, which means that Asta is not going to be a wizard king. And then as Asta was ready to give up, that's when all you hear from the back is Fire Dragon Iron Kick. And then that's when he gets I don't know, y'all know his name. Correct me, just put his name in the comments, bro. Even though we're never gonna go back over this episode, just put his name in the comments. I don't know his name. Anyway, the dude with the chains get kicked squared in the face as he flies back a little, and he catches, his face is kind of singed and stuff. He just got kicked by some Fire Slayer dragon magic. So he was like, who the hell hit me? And then that's when Natsu stepped between Asta, and then he picked Asta up, and then tossed them towards where was at. Not tossed them towards where was at, but just dropped them where was at. And then that's when it was like, you're the brat who had those that dragon flame surround him. You have no grimoire, and yet you could use magic on this scale. You're interesting. And he was like, I don't know who the hell you are, but if you're messing with my brothers, you have to deal with me. And then that's when he put his hand onto his palm together and flared the fire magic as his flaming aura goes around him. And then that's when he was like, I used to be a ex-magic knight. I took down stronger and robbed stronger magical knights than you. He was like, so fighting the kid who has a little experience using his magic will be a piece of cake. And then that's when Natsu was like, that's what you think, huh? And then that's when he uses the chains to attack. So Natsu is dodging the chains as he ignites his hands in the chains. And then that's when he comes in contact with the chains as he breaks the chains when he punches it. He was like, impossible. And then that's when Natsu dodges to the side, dodging, and then he jumps into the air. And then that's when he was like, Fire Dragon, Iron Fist. And then that's when he comes down with a huge explosive punch. And then that's what Natsu wanted to do. So he dodges. He was hoping that he dodged. And then that's when he's like, you're going to have to do better than that. And then that's when Natsu set it up for the Fire Dragon. He said, Fire Dragon, Fire Sweep. And then that's when he sweeped. But his leg let off a huge fire arc that was like kind of burning the ground and melting it at the same time. And then that's when he used the chains to use defense on himself, right? That's when he used the chains to defend himself. And then that's when he enclosed himself in like a ball, he still kind of flew back. And as the chains broke, some of them were melting. And then that's when he used one of the chains to shoot at Natsu. But Natsu caught it at his face. And then that's when he was like, he was struggling because the chains are kind of strong. But due to his dragon strength he had, he was holding that motherfucker. And then he was like, and then that's when he screamed, and then the fire started getting hotter, and then that's when he melted the chain and then broke it. And then that's when he was like, maybe you just don't get it. I said, give it back. He said, I said, give his grimoire back, and don't ever mess with my brothers again. And then that's when he said, Fire Dragon, Dragon, roar. And then that's when he overexerted himself. So he overexerted himself, right? And then that's when he shot a huge fire cone blast straight towards him. And then that's when I'm gonna give y'all a picture. So the fire is coming. Think of it as y'all ever watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? And you know how when Azula and Zuko were fighting, and Zuko let off that's when Zuko was like. When he breathed in and out and let out that huge ass fireball that was twisting and stuff, that's exactly what it looked like. But think of it as the flame more it's wider on the edges since Natsu exerted himself, so he used more energy than what he could to use. So it was just like that, but bigger, and it was kind of taking up the radius. So the ground was melted. Some of the bricks that were in that alley were melted too. So it shot towards him, and then that's when he covered himself. He used all the magic he could to cover himself. And then that's when it let off a huge explosion as Natsu was still standing with the aura fading. And then that's when he was like, I give it to you. You're good, kid, but you won't compare to the experience that I still have. And then that's when Natsu was like, okay, you're still standing? Now I'm really fired up. And then that's when he was like, I've been saving this move to test on somebody, and it seems like you're the perfect candidate, as he jumps in the air, right? And then that's when he was like, Fire Dragon? He said, Fire Dragon ultimate technique. No, not ultimate. He's like, Fire Dragon signature technique. Brilliant Dragon Flame. And then as he was about to do it, that's when he coughed because he used too much magical energy. His reserves aren't deep enough yet. So that's when he was like, and then that's when he fell and then got hit by the chains. And then that's when he got hit on the ground, right? And that's when he screamed, some blood, he coughed up some blood. And then that's when he gets swung around into the wall, just like Asta, but he got swung into the side of the wall. And he was like, damn it. He was like, And then that's when he got back up and he was like, you just don't learn, kid. He was like, I give it to you. You are a stubborn one, but you should know when you're beaten. And then that's when gives his pep talk to Asta, saying that you are my rival. And that's when Asta was like, I'm sorry, And then that's when he was like, and I'm sorry, Asta, for seeing you letting you guys see me have a moment of weakness. And then that's when he was like, just give me a minute. He was like, all right, I understand. I will destroy you, like he said in canon. And then that's when the demonic grimoire came, and then that's when the pages opened to reveal the sword Demon Slayer. And then that's when Natsu sensed the energy, because even though they can't sense it, since Natsu's energy works different, he could sense that as magic too. So Natsu could sense it too. So flashback, when Natsu and were fighting, were play fighting when they were younger, Natsu sensed that Asta had magic abilities, but he just couldn't put his finger on it. So he kind of just forgot about it. And then that's when Natsu flashed back to now, and that's when he was like, so that's what that energy spike was earlier, before, when we were kids. He was like, I always knew what he had in him. He was like, look at him fucking go. Yeah, he said fucking go. They be cussing all the time. So that's when Asta grabbed the sword, and then that's when Asta basically flash stepped towards them and then hit him with the sword, and then the chains broke, and then that's when he backed up with the that's when he backed up. He caught himself. He's like, "This can't be. You had no magic." And then that's when Natsu was like, "Hey, Asta, you want to finish this? You want to finish this Haja style?" And then that's when Asta was like, "What do you have?" He was like, "Just humor with me, sync up with me." And then that's when Asta was like, "That's not Asta." That's when Natsu was like, he was like, "Fire Dragon, Iron Kick." And then that's when Natsu, speed blitzed behind Asta. And then that's when Natsu kicked Asta, not in like a harmful way, but to give Asta like a super speed boost with flames around him. As that's when Asta deals the final blow, and then that's when he beats the ex-Magic Knight, and then everything pretty much goes to canon for episode 1. Even though they start episode 1 on episode 2 and continue episode 2, I'm just going to say this is going to be episode 1. So pretty much everything goes to canon, and now they, and Asta make up along with Asta, and then, along with Natsu and making up with, and Asta saying they're going to be Magica, the Wizard King. And then that's when Natsu said, "I'll be the strongest wanderer without a grimoire." And then he said, "And then I'll be stronger than both of you, even if one of you becomes Wizard King. I'll be the strongest." And then that's when they both did like a 3-way fist bump. And that's where I'm going to be leaving this what if off. Again, this is what if Natsu was in Black Clover season 1, episode 1. I told you this was coming, right? I told y'all this was coming. I just had to take a few times. I had like some, illegal things I had to take care of. So we back better than ever. I will be doing episode 2 and maybe episode 3 live, depending how late I get home. Like I said, I hope y'all enjoy this content that I'm doing. I will get back to the Miles Morales what if, and yeah, so far we just enjoying life and time, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this what if. If y'all liking this series so far, I will continue to do it because I'm starting to like this series so far as well. And now that I see all the potential and magic stuff that can happen, I'm not gonna say what can happen, but it's just so much room for amazing stuff. So I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Comment, like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. And I'm the type of person that, like guess what? If I get monetized, bro, I just want to get monetized strictly for the views. I want to get paid by the views. I'm finna make my shit ad free, bro. I'm not monetizing no ads unless I fuck with it, bro. It's just that simple. So yes, my shit is going to be ad free. I just want get paid by the views, bro. I just want to get paid by the views. You might have an ad here and there, or I might put ads for my older series, like for my Gotta High School series that I did for High School DxD. That's probably the only series that probably will ever have ads. Or I just might temporarily put ads on it. But other than that, my stuff is going to stay ad free, bro. My stuff is going to stay ad free. Now, if I need some money, hey, I got to do what I got to do. But at the same time, most of my stuff is going to stay ad free. Lives, any lives that I do, I know some people do lives and they be seeing ads. All my lives are going to be ad free, regardless if I do what ifs or we just kick it. If I do what if episodes, every live that I do is going to be ad free. So yeah, once I get up into those upper YouTuber what if echelons, bro, I hope I can have a cool community I can open a Discord with as well, and just a cool YouTube community all around. And I can't wait to do what if collabs. I even want to do a collab where we take different characters, one person does the other character and I do the other character, and we just collide and make things happen, man. And I just hope that one day I could get there. But without any further ado, this is Redux What If signing off. Appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Stay on the lookout for the lives and stay on the lookout for other uploads I may do. I'm always active in the community tab post. If y'all got some more ideas, let me know. I take constructive criticism really well. And y'all already know I interact with all my fans. So I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Thank you for getting me to 144. We almost to 200 before. If we get to 200 before the year ends, man, that will probably be the best way to go out this year, man. But without any further ado, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. I want to thank y'all again, because y'all are just amazing people. And this is Redux What If signing off. Thank y'all again.